this is Miss Andrea. Yesterday, I talked about the single most important thing that you need to know as a homeschooling parent. You will want to check that out. Today, I'm going to talk about the second most important thing you need to know as a homeschool parent. Before we get to that, I'm just going to repeat that I am making a concerted effort to grow this channel. This channel is 13 years old, so if you go scrolling back through the years, you're going to notice that I look super different. I was about 40 when I started using YouTube, and I'm 52 now. And I'm a lot grayer. A lot of things are different. But it's fun to go back, kind of like a time capsule from when I was homeschooling small kids to now post-homeschooling small kids and working with other people's homeschool children. So what is the second most important thing you need to know when homeschooling your children? Here it is. It is the relationship between you and your child. Back in my homeschooling days, maybe a year or two into homeschooling, when the entire family stopped completely flailing and freaking out, they started coming to me one at a time saying, "You're homeschooling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my kid off at your house and you're going to homeschool them too." And I'd think about it and I'd go, no. Friends did it too, not just family. And they'd be like aghast. And I'd be like, well, there's several problems with me not just homeschooling my kids, but homeschooling yours as well. Number one is the law. The law says that you must homeschool your children. Or you must pay a tutor or, some things. But it doesn't leave room for you to pick a homeschooler and make them your private school. There are things I would have to do to become a private school. That would be time consuming and cost me a bit of money. I'm going to ignore the man party in the other room. You'll hear a little bit of laughing. Secondly, the second most important thing when it comes to homeschooling your child is that relationship. And you need to be building that relationship with your child in order for homeschooling to be successful. And you really don't want me building a mother-child bond with your child. Well, then you're their teacher. And I'm like, no, I'm my children's homeschool parent. If I become your child's teacher at the same time, then either I become your child's second parent or I become my children's teacher. What happens is you turn my home into a private school. And so my children no longer have a homeschool experience, but they have a private school experience. Because as another parent coming in, you're going to have a lot of expectations that you will have of me teaching your children. You're going to have a schedule that you will want me to keep when teaching your children. A lot of the spontaneity of my homeschooling is going to go out the window. So yeah, I burned a few bridges in refusing to turn my home into a private school to homeschool children. But I really, truly felt and still feel very strongly that the relationship between the parent and child are of uber importance. I was on the phone today with someone who I'm going to help homeschool. I'm going to have them virtually in my history class. My history class is local, but I'm planning to modem it and to extend my history class to 10 students who are not local. And this person is a relative, a new relative. They married my brother a few years ago. but they have a 10-year-old, and we talked, and she felt confident because the child has asthma, and she knew that this was just safer for the child than to put them in a COVID situation. But then she started to freak out, and all new homeschooling parents who I speak to tend to freak out. First of all, I have a comforting thing about me, so they put down their guard. And so she's like, I'm anxious, I'm worried. And I was like, look, I have you. I have your back. I have experience. You know my kids. You've seen the results. I need you to relax and to work on your relationship with your child. We're close. You are. But your child's been in school for a few years, and that's put a little bit of a barrier between you and your child relationship-wise. Go get it back. This is why a lot of homeschoolers decompress, to take that school off, and so that the child feels that I'm at home, and home and learning can go together. So relax. Love on your child more, hug on your child more. Make sure your child knows that there's nothing they can do, say, get wrong, push back, that is going to cause friction between you. Because when you and your child become unconditional again, like before they went to school, when your children start realizing that you might be smart again, they're going to trust you. There's going to be less pushback. There's going to be less friction in the homeschool. They're going to do more of what you ask them to. And you're going to bend a little too. When they ask you why I have to learn something, you're going to take your time and explain it to them in their terms. It's just something about having a close relationship with your kids that makes homeschool super duper easy. I've never seen anyone have a contentious relationship with a child, or even a whole home relationship with a child where homeschool went swimmingly. It's not doable, which is why I have a rant somewhere that says don't homeschool as a punishment. It's fruitless. It's completely fruitless. So, that's my tip for today. I strongly encourage you, if you're just beginning to homeschool your child, that you do some relationship building exercises. You play games together. You go places together. You sit close together. You scratch their head, you rub their back, you read out loud. You become lighter. Don't be such a disciplinarian. If you're a heavy disciplinarian, pull back. Pull back. And let your home be a place of peace and love and relaxation. And you and the child will be better off for it. So, as I said yesterday, once you have determined where you can teach your child and where you can't teach your child, and where you need to get help, then you need to also work on that heart-to-heart relationship with your child. I'm not sure what my discussion is going to be for tomorrow. You tell me. Please leave a comment. Tell me what thing about homeschooling makes you anxious, worried, or you're just pulling a blank. We might discuss socialization again. That should give me a better idea. Until next time.